Hello everyone, Dr. Alan Mandell here. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. As men pass the age of 50, something very subtle begins to happen inside the body. Blood vessels that were once flexible and responsive start to stiffen. Circulation slows, energy drops, and for many men, one of the earliest warning signs shows up in the bedroom. Erectile dysfunction is not just about intimacy. It is often a signal of reduced blood flow, poor vascular health, inflammation, and changes in the body's internal chemistry. Now, here's something that may surprise you. One simple household compound, bicarbonate, commonly known as baking soda, has been studied for its ability to influence the body's acid-base balance, circulation, and inflammation. And when used correctly and safely, it may support better blood flow and overall vascular function. But the key words here are correctly and safely. Today, you're going to learn the science behind bicarbonate, how it may support circulation, and the safest ways to use it in daily life, especially if you're over 50. Let's begin. Most men think erectile dysfunction begins in the bedroom, but science tells a very different story. It often begins silently, deep inside the arteries, years before symptoms ever appear. By the time a man notices changes in performance, his blood vessels may already be sending an urgent warning signal. Here's the shocking truth backed by cardiovascular research. The arteries that supply blood to the penis are smaller than the arteries that supply the heart. That means they become blocked sooner, sometimes 3 to 5 years before a heart attack or stroke occurs. In other words, erectile dysfunction can be the body's early alarm system, long before a life-threatening event strikes. Imagine this for a moment. Your body is whispering a message, but most men ignore it because it feels embarrassing or uncomfortable to talk about. Yet doctors around the world now recognize erectile dysfunction as one of the strongest early predictors of cardiovascular disease. Studies published in major medical journals have shown that men with erectile dysfunction have a significantly higher risk of heart disease, stroke, and even premature death, not because of age alone, not because of stress alone, but because of reduced blood flow quietly damaging vital organs over time. Blood flow is life. Every cell in your body depends on oxygen and nutrients delivered through tiny, flexible blood vessels. When those vessels are healthy, they expand easily, allowing blood to surge where it's needed. But when they become stiff, inflamed, or clogged with plaque, circulation slows and the body begins to struggle. This process does not happen overnight. It develops slowly, year after year, often starting in your 40s and accelerating after the age of 50. High blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, excess weight, and chronic stress all accelerate the damage. Even poor sleep and dehydration can weaken the delicate lining of blood vessels. Inside those vessels is a thin layer of cells called the endothelium. This lining controls whether arteries relax or tighten. It releases a powerful molecule called nitric oxide, which signals the muscles around blood vessels to open wide. When nitric oxide is plentiful, blood flows freely. When nitric oxide declines, circulation becomes restricted. And here's where the danger becomes real. Research shows that nitric oxide production naturally decreases as men age. By the time a man reaches his 50s, his body may produce significantly less of this critical compound than it did in his 20s. That decline alone can reduce blood flow to the brain, the heart, the muscles, and the reproductive organs. Many men notice the first signs as fatigue. They feel colder than usual. They lose stamina during exercise. Their recovery time becomes slower. Then gradually, intimacy becomes more difficult. This is not just about masculinity. This is about circulation. In fact, cardiologists often say that erectile dysfunction is a vascular disease first and a sexual symptom second. That statement alone has changed how modern medicine approaches men's health. Instead of treating symptoms alone, doctors now search for the underlying cause, damaged blood vessels. Consider this startling statistic. Nearly half of men over the age of 50 experience some degree of erectile dysfunction, and many of those same men also have undiagnosed high blood pressure or early stage heart disease. The connection is not coincidence, it is biology. When arteries narrow, blood pressure rises. When blood pressure rises, vessel walls become thicker and less flexible. Over time, this stiffness reduces circulation even further, creating a dangerous cycle. The heart works harder, the brain receives less oxygen, and energy levels continue to drop. But the most alarming part is that these changes can remain invisible for years. There may be no chest pain, no warning signs, no obvious symptoms, until one day the body reaches a breaking point, a heart attack, a stroke, or sudden cardiovascular collapse. Yet long before those catastrophic events occur, the body often sends a quiet signal through changes in erectile function. It is not a failure, it is a message. Medical researchers have found that men with erectile dysfunction are up to 2 times more likely to develop heart disease compared to men without it. That risk increases even more in men who also have diabetes or high cholesterol. These conditions damage blood vessels by increasing inflammation and oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like rust forming inside the arteries. It weakens the vessel walls, reduces elasticity, and disrupts blood flow. Over time, plaque begins to accumulate, narrowing the passageway through which blood must travel. The result is reduced oxygen delivery to vital tissues. Your brain feels it as brain fog. Your muscles feel it as weakness. Your heart feels it as strain. And your reproductive system feels it as reduced performance. The body is one interconnected system. When circulation fails in one area, it eventually affects the entire body. But here is the powerful part of this story. Blood vessels are not fixed structures. They are living tissues capable of healing, adapting, and improving when given the right conditions. Scientific research has shown that lifestyle changes can restore blood vessel function, even in men over the age of 60. Regular physical activity can increase nitric oxide production within weeks. Healthy nutrition can reduce inflammation and improve artery flexibility. Weight loss can lower blood pressure and restore circulation. Even small improvements can create dramatic results. Walking just 30 minutes a day has been shown to improve vascular health and reduce the risk of heart disease. Drinking enough water helps maintain blood volume and prevent thickening of the blood. Reducing sugar intake protects the delicate lining of blood vessels from damage. These changes may sound simple, but their impact is profound because when blood flow improves, every organ benefits. Energy returns, mental clarity sharpens, physical strength increases, confidence grows, and yes, erectile function often improves naturally as circulation is restored. This is why modern medicine is shifting its focus from quick fixes to long-term vascular health. Temporary solutions may provide short-term relief, but they do not repair damaged arteries. True recovery begins by restoring healthy blood flow at its source. The message is clear and supported by decades of research. Erectile dysfunction is not just a private issue. It is a medical signal that deserves attention. Ignoring it can allow silent disease to progress. Addressing it early can protect your heart, your brain, and your future. Your body is constantly communicating with you. Every symptom is a message. Every change is a clue, and sometimes the smallest signal carries the biggest warning. There is a silent battle happening inside your body every single day, and most people have no idea it even exists. It is not a battle you can see in the mirror. It is not something you feel immediately, but over time, it can quietly influence your energy, your circulation, your strength, and even your ability to perform as a man. This battle is about balance, specifically the balance between acid and alkaline inside your body. Your blood must stay within a very narrow pH range to keep you alive, not slightly off, not occasionally off, but precisely controlled, minute by minute, second by second. If that balance shifts too far in either direction, cells begin to malfunction. Enzymes stop working properly, muscles weaken, blood vessels lose their flexibility, and circulation begins to suffer. Scientists have known for decades that the human body works tirelessly to maintain this delicate chemical balance. One of the most important defenders in this system is a natural compound called bicarbonate. Your body produces it every day through the kidneys and lungs, using it as a buffering agent to neutralize excess acids. Think of bicarbonate as the body's internal firefighter. Whenever acidity rises, it rushes in to extinguish the chemical flames before damage spreads. But here is the alarming reality. As we age, the body's ability to maintain this balance becomes less efficient. Kidney function gradually declines, metabolism slows, chronic inflammation increases, and the result is a subtle shift toward a more acidic internal environment. This is not about extreme acidity or medical emergencies. It is about a slow, persistent imbalance that quietly stresses the body over years. Research has shown that even mild metabolic acidosis, the medical term for increased acidity, can contribute to muscle loss, fatigue, bone weakness, and reduce physical performance in older adults. It can also increase inflammation, one of the leading drivers of cardiovascular disease. Inflammation is like a smoldering fire inside the arteries. It damages the delicate lining of blood vessels, making them stiff and less responsive. Over time, this stiffness reduces blood flow to critical organs, including the heart and brain. And when blood flow declines, the body begins to show signs of struggle. Energy drops, endurance fades, recovery slows, and for many men, sexual performance becomes less reliable. But here's where the science becomes truly fascinating. Bicarbonate plays a direct role in maintaining the environment that allows blood vessels to function properly. When the body's internal chemistry is balanced, blood vessels can relax and expand more easily. Oxygen moves efficiently through the bloodstream. Muscles contract with greater strength, and the heart does not have to work as hard to pump blood. This is not theory, it is physiology. Medical researchers have observed that maintaining proper acid-base balance can improve exercise performance, reduce muscle fatigue, and support better circulation. Athletes have used bicarbonate supplementation for decades to delay exhaustion and enhance endurance during intense physical activity. Why? Because bicarbonate helps neutralize the acids that build up during exertion, allowing muscles to keep working longer and more efficiently. Now imagine what that means for the average man over the age of 50. Even daily activities, walking, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, require efficient circulation and muscle function. When acidity builds up and buffering capacity declines, the body tires more quickly. Fatigue becomes the new normal. Many men blame aging. They assume feeling tired, weak, or sluggish is simply part of getting older. But often the real cause is reduced efficiency inside the body's chemical systems. Here is another powerful fact supported by clinical research. Chronic low-grade metabolic acidosis has been linked to increased risk of kidney disease, insulin resistance, and cardiovascular problems. These conditions share one common thread: impaired circulation. And impaired circulation is the root cause of many age-related health challenges. But the story does not end there, because the body is remarkably resilient. When given the right support, it can restore balance and improve function even later in life. Hydration plays a critical role in this process. Water helps transport bicarbonate and other electrolytes throughout the bloodstream, maintaining proper chemical stability. Without enough fluids, blood becomes thicker, circulation slows, and the risk of vascular stress increases. Nutrition is equally important. Diets high in processed foods, refined sugars, and excess sodium can increase the body's acid load, forcing the kidneys to work harder to maintain balance. Over time, this strain can weaken the body's natural buffering systems. But diets rich in fruits, vegetables, and minerals provide natural alkaline compounds that support acid-base regulation. These nutrients help protect blood vessels from inflammation and oxidative damage. And here's the hopeful message. Small adjustments in daily habits can significantly improve the body's internal balance. Drinking adequate water each day helps maintain proper circulation. Eating potassium-rich foods like leafy greens supports healthy blood pressure. Reducing processed foods lowers inflammatory stress on the arteries. These simple steps strengthen the body's natural defense systems. But there is one more detail that many people overlook. Balance is not about extremes, it is about stability. The human body is designed to regulate itself with incredible precision. When supported properly, it can maintain healthy circulation, strong muscles, and stable energy levels for decades. This is why understanding the role of bicarbonate is so important. Not as a miracle cure, not as a quick fix, but as part of a larger system that keeps the body functioning at its best. Your blood vessels depend on this balance. Your muscles depend on this balance. Your heart depends on this balance. And when that balance is restored, the body responds in powerful ways. Breathing becomes easier. Movement feels lighter. Energy becomes more consistent. Confidence returns. The change may begin quietly, but its effects can transform daily life. Because at the end of the day, health is not determined by one single factor. It is the result of thousands of tiny processes working together in harmony. And among those processes, the balance between acid and alkaline remains one of the most essential. There is a dangerous myth spreading among men today, especially after the age of 50. It is the belief that one pill, one powder, or one simple remedy can fix years of damage inside the body. That belief is not just misleading, it can be life-threatening because the truth is far more powerful and far more hopeful. Your daily habits, repeated over months and years, shape the health of your blood vessels more than any single substance ever could. Science has proven this again and again. The condition of your arteries is not decided in a doctor's office. It is decided in your kitchen, in your routine, in your lifestyle choices, and in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Every step you take sends a signal to your body. Every meal you eat sends a message to your bloodstream. Every hour you spend sitting or moving influences the strength of your circulation. Your body is always listening. Researchers have discovered that physical inactivity is now considered one of the leading risk factors for cardiovascular disease worldwide. In fact, prolonged sitting has been compared to smoking in terms of its negative impact on health. When the body remains still for too long, blood flow slows, muscles weaken, and arteries lose their flexibility. This is not a theory. It is biology in motion, or biology in decline. But here is the powerful turning point. Movement can reverse much of this damage. Studies have shown that just 30 minutes of brisk walking per day can improve blood vessel function within weeks. Not months, not years, weeks. Walking increases nitric oxide production, the very molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessels and improving circulation. It lowers blood pressure, it reduces inflammation, it strengthens the heart muscle, and most importantly, it restores confidence in the body's ability to perform. Think about that for a moment. One simple activity, available to nearly everyone, can begin repairing the very system that keeps you alive. Yet millions of men ignore this powerful tool because it seems too simple to be effective. They search for complicated solutions while overlooking the fundamentals that truly matter. Another critical factor is hydration. Your blood is made up largely of water. When you are dehydrated, blood becomes thicker and more difficult to pump through narrow vessels. The heart must work harder. Blood pressure rises, circulation slows. Even mild dehydration can reduce physical performance, mental clarity, and endurance. In older adults, chronic dehydration has been linked to increased risk of kidney problems, fatigue, and cardiovascular stress. But when you drink enough water, something remarkable happens. Blood flows more easily. Oxygen reaches the brain more efficiently. Muscles function with greater strength. It is not magic, it is physics inside the human body. Nutrition is another battlefield. where health is either protected or destroyed. Modern diets filled with processed foods, excess sugar, and unhealthy fats create a constant state of inflammation. This inflammation damages the lining of blood vessels, making them stiff and narrow. Over time, plaque builds up, blocking the smooth flow of blood. This process is known as atherosclerosis. It is the leading cause of heart attacks and strokes worldwide. But here is the hopeful reality supported by decades of medical research. Healthy foods can slow, stop, and sometimes even reverse this process. Leafy green vegetables contain nitrates that help the body produce nitric oxide. Garlic has compounds that improve blood vessel flexibility. Fatty fish provide omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and protect the heart. Fruits and nuts supply antioxidants that defend cells from oxidative damage. These nutrients are not supplements. They are natural tools designed by biology to maintain life, and their effects are cumulative. Every healthy meal strengthens the body's defenses. Every unhealthy meal weakens them. The difference may not be visible today, but over time it becomes undeniable. Weight control also plays a critical role in circulation. Excess body fat, especially around the abdomen, increases pressure on the cardiovascular system. It raises blood pressure. It disrupts hormone balance. It increases insulin resistance. All of these changes damage blood vessels and reduce blood flow. Research has shown that losing even 5 to 10% of body weight can significantly improve blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and vascular health. That small reduction can lower the risk of heart disease and improve physical performance. Small changes create powerful results. Sleep is another silent factor that many men underestimate. During deep sleep, the body repairs damaged tissues, balances hormones, and restores energy reserves. But when sleep is poor or insufficient, stress hormones remain elevated. Blood pressure stays high. Inflammation increases. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation can double the risk of cardiovascular disease. Yet when sleep improves, the body begins to heal. Heart rate stabilizes. Blood vessels relax. Energy returns. Stress management is equally important. Chronic stress triggers the release of adrenaline and cortisol, hormones that prepare the body for danger. In short bursts, these hormones are helpful, but when stress becomes constant, they keep blood pressure elevated and strain the cardiovascular system. This constant pressure damages arteries and reduces circulation. Simple relaxation techniques, deep breathing, stretching, prayer, meditation, or time outdoors can lower stress levels and protect the heart. These practices slow the nervous system and allow blood vessels to relax. They restore balance to the body. And here is the most important message of all. No single remedy can replace these daily habits. No powder can substitute for movement. No drink can replace proper nutrition. No supplement can compensate for lack of sleep. Health is not built in a moment. It is built in routines. Every day your body is either moving toward strength or toward decline. Every choice pushes you in one direction or the other. The good news is that the human body is incredibly resilient. Even after years of neglect, blood vessels can regain flexibility. Circulation can improve. Energy can return. Scientists have documented cases where lifestyle changes reduced cardiovascular risk by more than 50%. That is not a small improvement. That is a transformation. Imagine waking up with steady energy, walking without fatigue, feeling stronger, clearer, and more confident in your body. This future is not reserved for athletes or young people. It is available to anyone willing to make consistent daily changes, because the most powerful medicine in the world is not found in a bottle. It is found in the habits you practice every single day.